So in my eyes, it's great because I get the reassurance, and it's like sometimes I'll have matches and I'm like, oh, I don't know if that was a good match, or like, oh, maybe the character's lacking here or there. But then I
Mhm.
have the support system where it's like they can tell me things and I can take it and transfer it to the next time. There was a lot of like, hey, your wrestling's great, but you're just wrestling. You're not doing anything. You're not a character, I
Mhm.
guess. So that's where like the I'm like that started coming in. Like, and it's crazy because like United helped me with that. They didn't help me with the phrase itself, but like they helped me with the confidence for that phrase.
And welcome to another episode of the Project Get to Know podcast. My name is Emmanuel, and I've seen you for many years now. The last time we had like a face to face was Inspire from like 2024, and you were just happen to be there. So,
Yeah, that was
Jae
a long.
Young, well,
Yeah, I love it. I've been such a fan like since coming up. Like you've always been on my radar, and like when you asked me, I like low key fanboyed a little bit. So I was like, yeah, finally. So I'm super happy to be here, man. Super happy to be here.
because what's nice too is I got this from Andrew from Breakaway, Andrew Lopez. Shout out Chef Andrew Lopez. You're Korean American. I did not know that. Which side?
South, my mom's side. So my grandma, she's full Korean from Seoul. I actually have a tattoo. I don't know if you can ever see it while I'm wrestling. But that's Yang. So that's my family's name.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's pretty
Wow.
cool. Pretty cool.
Because have you ever visited Korea yet, or it's just like whatever your parents like picked you up in
So I'm
terms
the
of like how the
only
culture
one.
is?
I'm the only one in my family who hasn't visited. So my mom, she used to go like I think she's gone like 4 times since I was born. Oh my god. I'm actually working on my passport right now. So you're gonna see me out there soon. That's all I'm gonna say. But I really need to
Yeah,
go because I'm like the only one who hasn't
yeah,
gone.
because K-Jax has been. I remember K-Jax was like, "I'm wrestling in Korea." I was like, "Wow, okay."
Yeah,
I didn't know the wrestling scene was big in Seoul. I was like, "Okay."
it's huge out there. It's crazy. He's out there right now, and like he just posted I guess an entrance for his match. I think he's in like a tag match or a rumble or something like that. And like when he came out, it's just like a big stage. And I'm like, dude, that's my end of year goal right now. Is like at least wrestle in Korea once.
You mentioned how much of your culture is it's already like branded in your skin already, but to have your culture and like how much I really asked this before we even delved to that question, like how much of that culture have you learned a lot from your parents?
I want to say like a big amount. When I was a child, like from like baby to like maybe when I moved to Texas, it was a big influence in my life for sure. We were always going to like Korean churches. We celebrated every Korean holiday. I could speak Korean when I was younger, but when I moved to Texas, my grandma, she stayed in Washington, so my Korean fell off a little bit. So I'm trying to learn it back up a little bit, but it's always been a huge influence in my life, especially the food. Oh my God. Like my grandma, she's in two places. She's
My
in the
God.
kitchen or she's in her room. And like she's always making like a feast for us anytime I see her. So like the food is always like in my heart 100%.
It's such a departure because like it's funny how like Japan and Korea are not too far from each other. It's just like it's two different extremes. Like Japanese is very much like very very demure. I can't believe I'm using that term in a while. Very demure, very much like subtle, but like Korean is very colorful. Like I remember trying out bibimbap when I tried it for the first time. It's very colorful, and it's just like when you mix it, it's like I don't want to ruin this. I don't want to
Yeah.
mess this up, and it's like it's such a different like contradictions of each other, but they're very much like distance. Like they're very much close in distance when you get
Yeah.
like at the end of the day with it.
And I love Korean food because it's always like it's very bold flavors for like homemade stuff, especially like my grandma, she's like her kimchi, I say 10 out of 10 best kimchi I've ever had in my life. Like I've tried
No
restaurants, I've
notes.
tried other people's, like no one beats my grandma 100%. But like even like simple stuff like she likes kimbap. It's like sushi but like backwards for Koreans. But she
Yeah.
makes kimbap a lot, and like even when she makes it that simple like dish right there, it's just bold and like impactful flavors every time.
Jajampong was just I tried it earlier this year, and it's like fish cakes, and it's like this tomato based sauce. There's one with cheese, and I was like, where has that been in my life?
I can't go like more than a month without getting Korean food. Like I have to get a. I start like losing myself if I don't get it, honestly. So I'm excited to go like try Korean street food because like everyone hypes the street food especially up like high. So I'm like, that's the first thing I'm doing. As soon as the plane lands, I'm getting out and I'm finding a little Korean cart. We call them hajimas. So hajimas like grandma in Korean. So hajimas usually in the kitchen or they got a little Korean cart selling some sort of snack on the street.
My God, you gotta go to when you're in Austin. You gotta go to H Mart. Like, there's a lot of wrestling shows and pinballs lately. What a lot of people don't know is like, it's almost like 5 minutes from pinballs, and like how big it is there in Austin lately with Broad Show. Now, New Texas is going to be there with the Contender Series coming this week, and it's like a lot of people don't know. Like 5 minutes from that venue, there's an H Mart right there, and it's
Oh,
like
really?
it's like what? Yeah. So if you're in Austin, like just check up it's right by Lakeline. It's like by Lakeline Mall, but like there's an H Mart there. There's one coming in the summer over in Burnett, if I have to say so. Welcome to the local portion of this podcast. It's almost like in South Austin. So like the Korean markets, and I'm sure there's some in San Antonio, but like H Mart is kind of like that legacy grocery store for Korean food, and they have like a food court there. So like if you're there, just give that a try. And it's such a time capsule too, because it's like what it was in groceries in Korea for a while. Because I watch Korean movies, but that's
Yeah.
besides the point. See, I'm like rambling because I love each one, but that's besides that, to carry that Korean heritage in your culture, how much of that has been part of you while you're still trying to really figure out and really put your name out there in wrestling, particularly in Texas?
Uh, well, it honestly first starts out with the name because originally I was gonna go by Jae Young, which would have been my family's name.
Mm-hmm.
So when I came up, when I thought of that name, I had pitched it out, and I'm gonna shout out my coach here. He was just like, "Nah, there's already a Jay Yang, technically Jimmy Yang," and I was like, "Same, but different," you know. But I was like, "Okay, I trust it."
It's
So
one
then,
letter.
exactly. So I'm like, I was sitting one day, and I was just like. Well, I still because a lot of my wrestling is truly me. Like everything about every like aspect of my wrestling is me 100%. Like from the name to the I'm like that to my gear. Like I try not to portray a different image because like I hate not being authentic. So I'm trying to sit there think of a name and I'm like, what's like still me but not me? I was like, well, Young, Yang, it's the same. So that's where Young comes from. And when I even told my mom, she was like, oh, that's like not too bad because it's technically a mistranslation. So I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. So that's how I try to tie my name to my heritage a little bit. And then my goal being to go to Korea, try to there was a moment in my career where in my promos, I wanted to use Korean slang, but I couldn't figure out how to insert
Mm-hmm.
it without like saying is like, I want to kill you. And I'm like, I can't really like threaten people like that. Like that's a little
Uh,
too aggressive,
that's
you
that's
know?
that's extreme, a little extreme.
Exactly. So I was like, dang. So I'm still trying to figure out that aspect because I do want to start learning Korean more and then using it more in my promos to stand out more. Because not a lot of people use their native language in their promos. Like Sin Límite, they're killing shit, and I love their promos because they're always in Spanish. Unless they're
Mm.
doing it with like other people, they're always speaking Spanish with the subtitles, and I'm a sucker for that. So I'm like. I want to start doing that, but like half and half, you know?
That's like when Konosuke Takeshita was doing promos, like whenever he just says something in Japanese and he breaks out the English, like what the hell? Like it's kind of like that where like he's
Yeah,
injecting what he knows in Japanese and then he just throws like a one liner in English and it's like I had to translate that too and I'm like that's not how it sounded and I had to figure it out. I was like it's something darker than what it is, but like for you to carry that in your own mic work and promo work, and it's not going to be an overnight thing. It takes
oh,
time,
no, for sure.
and Duolingo will be your friend at that point.
But yeah, no, but yeah, and that like back to the promos too, like that's why I kind of want to start doing the Korean stuff a little bit more. Just like how you said, like Takesha kind of
Mm-hmm.
like does it where he like spits it out. It's like, oh, I didn't know. Like I think that's how I'm gonna start doing it going forward. Cause like I feel like lately I've been showing more like a goofier side of myself, and I'm like in love with it. So like adding that like Korean aspect into the promos, and then like I think it'll just like you're gonna see a different Jae Young coming up pretty soon for sure.
That's good because I think characters change over time, and some may stick to where what they know and what sticks in the audience, but like to know that progress is part of that, like will it be a learning curve for any? I think you mentioned it a little bit earlier. Like, is it just a learning curve or is it something that you will like embrace over time?
A little bit of both, because for me, I'm not a like me. I'm not a people person. I'm very much very shy, very to myself. I'm not good with like introductions and stuff like that. So when it comes to interacting to the crowd with wrestling, I try to turn that switch off, which I'm able to, but it's like it's not fully off. Like it's like the button gets stuck or the switch gets stuck halfway through. So it's like I'm able to interact a little bit more, but then it's just like, like I want to start like interacting with the crowd in the ring or like in my entrances. Like lately, when I was like starting out, man, I'd come out and I'd just blast through, just yelling. Like now, I'm trying to do more of like a. I feel like I'm more calm. I talk to. There's Angel. Shout out Angel. She's always singing my song when I come out, which is like crazy because I never would have thought I would have had a dope song that people are singing. So like I'll shout out to her. She'll start spitting. I'll do a little, you know what I'm saying? But it's a learning curve trying to figure out like what people like and what'll draw people in. Because I don't want people to just make noise. Like I want people to make noise and be a
Mm-hmm.
part of the noise. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's like the rock star in me a little bit. I love the rock star like lifestyle. Like I love going out to like rock shows and there's like mosh pits. Like I'm not a like legs and arms throwing type of person, but like if there's like a push mosh going, I'm in it 100%.
You're not like the rah rah guy, and you're like, I'll
No,
just run through the motions of.
exactly. Like I'll do a little spinneroonie in there. Not a spinneroonie, but like I'll spin in there and stuff like that. But I'm not gonna be knocking someone out in the crowd.
Because what's nice too is United, because that's where I kind of knew a bit more of your career is through United 210. And such Sash and Rob, we're going to talk about how much of that has been your home and what was that initial handshake with Stash like? Because Stash has been very much, and I said this on his interview, where he is one of the hearts and souls in San Antonio. What was that beginning like having such Sash be letting you take part in United?
Man, it's crazy. Like after every United show, like I sit there and I think I'm like, y'all really like put me on. Like they're really one of the first promotions to like really take a chance on me. And it started like literally my second match was at United. It was against Casey Black Rose. And like
Okay.
the fact that they like put me on there like one match in against Casey, like pre-show, it was pre-show, but it's like to even be on the show with two matches under my belt, it's like super crazy in itself. And it wasn't until mm, it wasn't until I want to say the end of that year. I think the end of that year, there was a triple threat with me, Casey, and Eric Walker. And at the end of that match, that's when I realized like these guys are kind of taking a shot on me. So it kind of kept being a like, do you guys have anything available? Okay, what do you want me to do? So they would give me a match, I would do the match, and I'd go up to. It started with Rob. I'm not gonna lie. It kind of started with Rob more than Stash. Stash used to intimidate the shit out of me. I'm not gonna lie, because when I came in the
He's
business,
so
no,
nice
he's
though.
so intimidating. When I first came in the training, he was on RCW. It was him and Rob on RCW, and I think they were heels at that time. So even Rob, like I thought Rob was like they were just scary dudes to me. Like I didn't know anything at the time. So I was like, these
Okay,
guys are
okay.
just the meanest, like gang type dudes, whatever. But no, it was just like after that match with Casey and Eric, I think I started asking Rob like, "Oh, what do you think? How'd you feel about this? What can I do better?" And then he started giving me advice,
That's good.
and then Stash started coming and giving me more and more advice, and then it was kind of like one day we were just sitting. I don't want to say sitting, like we were probably chilling after a show, and Stash told me he was like, keep doing what you're doing. He was like, I see that you freak out a lot and that like you care about what you're doing. And he's like, don't worry, like you're doing great. Like you just trust it. Like we'll give you stuff. So I think once
Mm,
Dead Man's Hand formed, we got our first story with the Gulf Coast boys. And in that story, I think is when me and Stash kind of got super close. I started like Stash is like Tio. He's Tio, honestly. He's Unc for us.
yeah.
So during that storyline, that's when I started just talking to him more and be like, hey, like I don't wanna just take part, like I wanna make this mean something. Every United show I try my best to make whatever match they give me mean something to me, to the crowd, and then to the promotion itself. So I think once they started realizing that, I think that's when we started like coming together. And then we had the whole tag team thing too. So the tag team thing kind of drew us
Yeah.
closer too. Like it was cool. It was really cool being Stash's tag partner. Like not being a part of the Texas Kingdom, but being Stud Stash's partner. And then having our first defense, like
Mm.
where we actually worked together, it was like, oh, this is cool. And then it stopped. And it was like, okay, no more tag. You're doing your own thing, kid. And I was like, okay, cool. So I think right now I'm kind of in a spot where I can see that they trust me and they want to see what I can do with that trust. So I think it's cool, like work, friendship, relationship. Like it's not too much of either or. You know what I mean? I still get matches that mean something, but I have to keep up giving good performances, if that makes sense. So I love everything they've done for me.
Because I think part of that, as I'm listening to your run with United 210, is there's a lot of kindness when it comes to people taking a shot at you. How much of that kindness has really taken part in not only building what you're doing things in your career, but also on a personal level? Because oftentimes, like kindness kind of leads into joy, because it's like when people do take a chance at you, like what was that like having that part of kindness be in what you're doing in United 210?
It's hard for me because my brain's wired weird. My brain takes kindness
Yeah, no, it's fine.
as like a test in a way, especially when it comes to business. You know what I mean? Because like it's cool,
Yeah.
hanging out with the boys and having the matches with the boys, but at the end of the day, when we do this, it is a business, and there is an end goal for everybody, whether it's me or the promotion or another wrestler. So in my eyes, it's great because I get the reassurance. And it's like sometimes I'll have matches and I'm like, oh, I don't know if that was a good match, or like, oh, maybe the character's lacking here or there. But then I
Hmm.
have the support system where it's like they can tell me things and I can take it and transfer it into the next time. There was a lot of like, there was a lot of like, hey, your wrestling's great, but you're just wrestling. You're not doing anything. You're not a character, I
Hmm.
guess. So that's where like the I'm like that started coming in. Like and it's crazy because like United helped me with that. They didn't help me with the phrase itself, but like they helped me with the confidence for that phrase. Saying I'm like that isn't saying like, oh, I'm top dog. Like I'm the best ever. It's like a humble way of saying it, you know. If you want to compare me to something,
Right.
I'm like that. You know, you like a certain food a certain way, and they're like, oh, how do you want it done? Like that. You know what I'm saying? Like if you want to match a certain way and you want it to be a great match, well, how do you want the match to go? Oh, like that. All right, I'll deliver. So, you know, the kindness really helped build my confidence up, but it also like freaks me out because I'm like, I have to keep up my momentum going.
It's following through. And when
Yeah.
they do give you the critiques and the feedback, it's just following through because they've already given you so much to say, all right, let's not do this. All right, let's roll with this. Watch this step. Okay, be careful with that. But also, like, you can say that okay, I have to do my part because they've already given you like the blueprint of what needs to be done, and it's like that's why it's such an interesting like path that you're doing in your time in United 210 is like there is like some miscues, but that's part of learning at the end of the day. And like Rob and such stash have been there to just guide you along the way, which leads you to having the United 210 breakaway championship because the tag team run it was short. You mentioned it. And I was like, because I was looking forward to that to another title defense when you and Stash were there after you got the belts, but to have a singles title, which is like that's probably like in it's not just like a hierarchy, but to have that singles title with you, and it's with Lou Cameron. And I've had Lou on for so many times. We have conversations like these, but to know that you have this title at Breakaway and to know that you now have this higher standard in United 210 that Robin Stash has been placing his trust on you. What was that like carrying that title lately?
It's hard. And I say it's for me, like a lot of like my thinking is like because a lot of people like if you look at the title, like it's not a looker, you know what I'm saying? It's like
Hmm.
a decent it got tape on it, you know, people are gonna say things. But to me, at the end of the day, it is a title. It's a representation of a brand and a company, not only United 210, but Breakaway. So when they told me about the matchup, one, I was like, it just came out of nowhere. Like there was no indication. They were like, "Okay, you're in a number one contendership for the breakaway title," and I was like, "Okay, like I guess,
Lightspeed.
sure, let's do it." So I was like, "Great," did that, and then it like clicked on me the next day. I was like, "Shit, sorry, I got Luke
It's
Cameron."
happening.
And
It's
then
happening.
I was like, "Dude, I've never really like I've faced K-Jax maybe once or twice, but that was like 24."
Hmm.
2023, 24-ish, you know? Like this is like my first big guy that's not from hybrid too. So I was kind of like, and then seeing his style, it excited me so much because like I love big guys that can go and like hard hitters at that. Like
Hmm.
I already knew like being a hard hitter myself, like the match was going through my head before the match even happened because I was like, I know
Yeah.
we're gonna throw hands. So um going into it, it was so fun. Like I've never been thrown the way he's thrown me. Um we got each other pretty good. Like I feel like it was a good match. I wish it was a little longer, but you know, it was a great match
Hmm.
in my eyes. And then like the crowd making that reaction at the end, like I honestly thought like, oh, I'm gonna get it and like it's gonna be a couple like, yeah, but like they came up and I was like, oh, this is kind of like they care about like this thing, not just me, but like this actually means something to them.
Right.
So getting it, I told them I was like, I don't want to just get it and not do something with it. So that's where the open challenge idea came from. I told them I did want to defend it as much as I can, and I don't care who you give me. Like, I'll take Lou again. Hey, I'll say it right now. I'll take Lou again. We can get that rematch going if he wants it, but anybody can get it. Like, I don't care. Roman Reigns could step down from he could not sign that contract. Come to Breakaway Brewery, and I'll defend the
That's
championship
bold
against him.
right there.
Let's go. Hey, I'm the ones, Oos. Like, you know what I'm saying? But no, I told them right away. I was like, if you're gonna put it on me, I'm gonna make it mean something, 100%. So I hope I'm doing a good job. I think I am. I think I'm doing a great job. But yeah.
I always like, and I always think about this too, like to have any title of any capacity, whether it's in the tag division or in the singles, um, how much do you see yourself being entrusted with the title, whether it is in the singles or in the tag division? How much of Rob and Stash and Breakaway really put such a heavy trust on you? Does the pressure turn up to 11, or is it something that, and I mentioned it on the last question, like is it something that you readily embrace, or you're just really going through the motions of like having so much pressure on getting a title? Hopefully that makes sense.
No, I get you. I want to say like my scaling, I have two different scales, which is so wild to say. So like my personal opinion, I think I I I don't want to say I don't think I'm not ready to be a champion. I 100% think I'm ready to be a champion. I think I'm still
Okay.
driving towards that. I'm definitely driving in that area, which is amazing to say. I think I always hold my expectations higher than my standard where I'm at.
Hmm.
Every match I try to be different and try to up the level a little bit. I have a move I'm working on that I've never been up on the top rope, and this move is crazy, but like developing that move in itself is like me trying to step up a notch. Like I can only stand and bang so much, you know what I mean? Before people are like, "Oh, well, I've seen you stand and bang, you know, in the last three matches." Now I can bounce off ropes and come off the top, and then the next level. Like I just did a hardcore
Hmm.
match. I just did a hardcore match and a ladder match back to back, which is like in my head, I was like, "This is crazy." Like I didn't even want to do a hardcore match to begin with, and now that I did it, I'm like, well, shoot, when's my next one? Like, I want to do it five more times. I wanted to defend in
Hmm.
a fatal five-way ladder match with barbed wire or something like that. You know, I'm always trying to see how far I can take it before it's like, okay, maybe you capped off, dude. But I can see myself taking going everywhere, anywhere.
I was thinking about how like to know that within your time with United too, and knowing that it's a work in progress. And do you see yourself as someone who's kind of like, okay, like there's so many things that you need to work on? Like, has that been your mantra? Because throughout this entire conversation, from what I'm listening to, is it's a work in progress, but you know your progress is doing better than where you left off in a match.
But for sure, yeah. After every match, I'm always thinking what I could have done better. There's always
Right.
better out there. You know what I mean? Something I stand by personally, and like I'll give advice to like for people who ask for it. I don't believe there's such thing as perfect. There's no such thing as a perfect match, a perfect
Mm-hmm.
gimmick, a perfect show. You'll never have perfect, but you can always do better. So I could win everything. I could win all the titles everywhere, and I could still sit there and go, well, what can I do better after that?
Throughout that time too, because you had an eye patch. Where did that come
Ooh, that was a oh, like oh, I hate that
That's
period
my
of time.
gotcha. That's my curveball.
I hate that period of time because it was like
Where did that?
Dead Man's Hand was doing so hot. We were winning matches. We were number one contendership for tag titles. And then out of nowhere, I get jumped by a 17-year-old, a clown, and a backbreaker. And then I open my briefcase and a fireball
Oh,
takes my eye out. And I'm like, great. So now I don't have an eye. I don't have a team.
well,
I got a tag team title shot by myself. So it was a good like was it a month, month and a half maybe. I was wearing it. It was a hard deal. It was different. It wasn't as bad as breaking my arm. Riot Party, thank you for that.
Yeah.
So I wasn't able to use my right arm right after I wasn't able to use my eye, which is like that's terrible.
Hmm.
But that was the hardest learning curve ever. Like wrestling like this is not fun. I can't see half my vision, and then yeah, I won the tag titles like that. Which is such a like I won the so yeah, I go in the mat. It's Riot Party and Dead Man's Hand, a free show of Brock Ali, and then me, mystery partner. And I was just like,
Yeah.
whatever, I'll do it. If I like because my thought process is like, if I go in this match and win the tag titles by myself with one eye, I'm really like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I was like, let's do it. And then Stash comes
Excuse me.
out and then helps me out, and then we become tag team champions. So like the eye patch was like a unfortunate thing that happened, but it also like I think it brought me to another level. Now I know how to wrestle with one eye if I need to.
Yeah. That. How much did it? How long did it take for you to adapt? Was it immediate, or you were like, you know what, it's there. I'll just roll with it, go on with it, and like just go through the matches that way. Like, did it take time for you to adapt that? Because like having, of course, one eye, it's a handicap, but to adapt to it, did it take time for you to go through the motions of that?
No, I literally like I got in the ring, I ran the ropes, and I was like, dude, I can do this. Like it was like because I
Okay.
I had
Okay.
broken yeah I had broken my thumb 24 I think February of 24 I broke my thumb in Laredo. So that happened on a I think it happened on a Friday night. Came back home Saturday, got it casted, went to training Monday, and then sat out for like 2 days. And I was like, I can't sit here. Like, there's no way I could just sit here. So I kind of just moved my fingers and was like,
Hmm.
well, it's just a thumb. Went in the ring, did some stuff, and I was like, dude, I can wrestle. So I wrestled with a cast for a good month and a half. And after that, like, I think I had a match. It was a fatal five. It was me, Eric Walker, Johnny Lyons, Suicide, and Alexander Crowley, which was like super wild. And I did that match in a cast. And at that point, I was like, dude, if I can wrestle in a cast, like I can wrestle without an eye.
You can
So
do
yeah,
anything.
yeah, literally, like I had the eye patch on, ran the ropes, and I was like, dude, I can do anything. I don't care. Break my leg, and I'll still try to do a
Okay.
450 off the top, man. Like I don't care. I'm crazy like that.
You mentioned Dead Man's Hand too as a faction, and to know that there is association while you're still trying to be an individual, to have, because there's different iterations with Dead Man's Hand too. Like, what was that like being part of a faction while you're still trying to be an individual as a wrestler?
At first, it was very hard because when I was starting out, they were still trying to make me a singles guy. So I was really trying to get the promos down and the character for sure down. There was like a good month or two before Dead Man Tan like was even an idea where I don't want to say I got it, but I was better than where I was before. So I was starting
Hmm.
to like come into my own, and then they were like, "Okay, you're in a group now," and I was like, "Oh, well, great! Like now I got to figure out who I am and figure out who we are at the same time." Um, so the first version of Dead Man's Hand was very chaotic, but it worked at the end of the day because we were just a group of people who like we were all very different, but I think the differences made the group better. Because me and Eric Walker were tagging for a little bit before that, and we had a good dynamic going. So we already had that connection getting into the faction, but adding Jesse's Brazilian Jiu Jitsu background, Jesse James, Austin, you cannot do that. Go. He's like trying to mess my camera up all the way. Adding Jesse James's like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu background and then key vibes, like her vibes were the metal vibes were sick. So like having that all come together into one group, it worked. And like it was surprising how well it worked when it first started. And then once that started slowly turning into me, Brock, and Freak Show, it really sucks because we weren't together that long. Brock was a 2 month addition.
Okay.
But when Brock was added, it took a while for us to like fit him in because he's a character in himself, you know? Like Brock Ali is he
Right.
flips, dude. He's loud. He's good with the chicks apparently. Like I don't understand that part. But adding him into the group at first was like, you're not what we are. Like we're like misfits in a way. Like I don't think we fit the normal
Yeah.
image, you know what I mean? I don't think Brock does either, but he was very much like jock boy at the time. But then we started tagging
Hmm.
more and then like even spending more time with Brock. Like I love the kid, bro. He's gonna be a star, 100%. And it really sucks because we were right there from like really establishing being together. I don't know what Casey has to do with Dead Man's Hand. That's none of my business, but I guess I just got replaced. I don't know.
Okay.
They're doing their thing, whatever their thing is, not defending their titles, and I'm doing my thing, winning titles. So uh we'll cross paths at some point.
What I'm noticing too is just to go through the motions of like a faction and then like to have your singles run to with United, to know that you're in this balance of what you're figuring out, whether being in a faction or in a singles run. It's not that much of a learning curve because like, once you got to know that it's it's starting to click, it's starting to gel together, and it's like, what was that like to adapt to that while you're still trying to like, figure things out in the ring? While you're trying to figure out in the ring.
It was weird for me to adapt because I'm a very much I love tag team wrestling. I grew up watching the Hardys, Paul London and Brian Kendrick. Uh
Mhm.
Morrison and Miz, they were like one of my favorite tag teams at the time. A lot of people don't even know that tag team. You don't know ball. Uh,
That's a
so
deep cut, dude. That I caught that and I was like, oh my god,
I
I have not
love
heard
that
of that
tag
in like
team.
years.
Dude, that's such an underrated one. So I'm very much a tag guy, and like even going into like joining hybrid, I was like, oh, I'm gonna find someone. I'm gonna be tag team champion for them. So, um,
Mhm.
I don't think I've ever like everyone has their like, oh, I'm gonna be like this guy going in, or like I'm gonna be a singles star. And I don't think I've ever had that. I think I've always been like, I'm just gonna be a rough dude, and then my tag partner's gonna match my energy, and we're just gonna take things over. And now that like I'm a singles guy, it's like, okay, I have myself to worry about. Well, what do I want?
Yeah.
I think for me, I definitely want to make a name for myself. Like I think that's like guaranteed with this business. You know what I mean? I think I just want to show people I can go. Like I want to be
Hmm.
the person people study. You know what I mean? I love the culture of wrestling, like the history and like, you know, the underground. I grew up watching WWE. So like I didn't know anything about the indies until I started wrestling. And now that like I've like dove into that area of wrestling, like I fell in love 100% with the culture. So like I just want to I think for me as a singles person, I want to be a part of the culture. I want to be the I want to be a baller as they say.
Because the years we're close to half a year already since May. But any goals or milestones that you want to attain for the rest of the year?
100%. I think every year, my goal is make a name, of course. I was gonna take a break from traveling this year, just like some personal reasons, but I've been traveling with Brock for the last like 3 weeks, and it kind of like reignited my spark. So I think definitely try to get out there a lot more. Not necessarily out of Texas. I mean, that's like a given. Like I do want to get out of Texas, but I think right now a more
Hmm.
realistic goal for me would be surrounding areas. So like Houston, Dallas, even Austin, getting any of those places would be super, super sick.
And like, what would be like that go to? You mentioned like all of them, but like, because I noticed because there's a lot of stuff that you're doing within Texas. Like, and is there any particular promotion or any other place that you would like to wrestle with in the state of Texas?
Hmm. Texas Contender Series, I did hit them up. Everyone has been
Okay.
going out there, and I love the vibe that they have. So that's definitely on my that's high on my list.
Hmm.
MPX, I recently was there with Brock, and that vibe, like, I definitely need to get out there for sure. That's a high on my list. I heard Dragon Slayer is pretty good. I heard good things about Dragon Slayer, so I think
Okay.
that'll be on my list.
Yeah, that's like a lot. Texas has a lot of places. I don't want it to highlight that it's at least like it's not just hybrid. It's not just United because you've had a good time there on in your career. But like there's other places where to branch out is something that you all. I mean that's every indie wrestler is to branch out and to go past their home base and really widen their nets to really showcase on what you're doing in this case.
Yeah, yeah, and exactly, and, like, I love going to Corpus. Corpus GCWA is one of my favorite, promotions to wrestle for
Mhm.
too. Their crowd energy is like I love being a heel out there because they hate me. Like, every time I've been out there, they're just like, "Fuck you." I'm like, "Yeah, like, give it to me." So I love going to Corpus too.
Take it in, take it
Yeah.
in.
I'm telling you, this heel turn, I don't know when it's happening. I love being a face, but I love being a heel. Being a heel is like
It's gonna happen. It's gonna
it's gonna happen.
because like the real you is so because what I learned with most heels, I'm learning this a lot with like not only like here but like in the larger scale of things. The best heels are the most nicest people you will ever meet because like when they turn into character, it's like unmet expectations and it just materializes itself.
Yeah, it's weird because like going into matches, like there has to be a switch turned on. Whether you're face or heel, if you have a gimmick or not, there always has to be a switch that's turned on. So for me, when I turn on the switch as a face, it's like I said earlier, like it gets turned on, but it gets kind of stuck halfway. As a heel, I'm able to like I can break the switch completely. I love being heel before my matches and like just going
I
all
can
out.
see
It's
that.
so good.
I can see that too.
It's like I'm just a different person.
My
Yeah,
God,
I love it.
yeah, this is fun. I love our time together because that time when I saw you back in Inspire and it's like we just had a conversation and it just clicked. It just sucks that it took a while to get to this point because there's so many other immediate people to have conversations with and it's like to know that you're still everyone here is on the rise and to know that the work that you've done especially winning the breakaway championship it just shows that it takes time to get to where everyone's point is at and it's like and I just watch you on a lot of the hybrid shows post that and in United it's more of how you're doing things that kind of caught my attention and how you're doing things so I'm not an analyst by any means but just seeing how you work over the years like it's nice to have like a nice deep dive with you because oftentimes we're always like 5 minutes. See you later. Or if
Yeah.
I'm running photos, we're like, we'll talk soon. So it's nice to have like a deep dive with you over the years. And yeah, just keep it up.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I love these like 100%. Like I love having, like you said, the deep dives. I wish like we could set up tables at Hybrid or even at United because I would love to just sit down and chat with everybody for sure.
Yeah. So we're close to wrapping up and picture yourself as an adolescent version of you. And if he hung out with you with the life that you've had, the life that you have, and the career that you've done as a wrestler, what would that younger person feel like hanging out with you?
That's crazy. Like that's like a crazy like perspective. Cause like,
That's the
yo,
idea.
like I would be such a different person. Like I feel like I'd probably get in a lot more trouble for sure. I was such a
What?
like
What?
I don't want to say like I was a goody goody kid. Like I was just very to myself, you know. I had friends that I would go over and, have, little hangout days or whatever. But for the like 90% of my childhood, I was probably by myself watching wrestling or playing SmackDown versus Raw
Yeah.
2010. Uh, so like, man, he'd be amazed. Like I would have never have expected to come out the way I did. So like, I think he would just be
Mm.
like, "You're the coolest dude I know for sure." And that's me being
Did
humble for
he
sure.
ex okay.
That's me being humble.
Did he ever expect to be a wrestler though?
No, I always loved wrestling. I always loved watching it and like, playing the games was always fun and stuff, but there was never a time that I can remember as a kid. Like even I had a replica, not a replica, but a toy big gold belt as a kid. And like even having
Okay.
that, it wasn't like I want to be a wrestler. Like when I grow up, I'm gonna become a wrestler. It was always like, oh, this is cool. Like it's cool. Wrestling's cool as hell. It was like what's cool? What's cool to kids now? My God,
That's a good
I
question.
feel fucking.
I don't know. That's a good question. We're both aging ourselves. We're both
But
aging
like
ourselves. I don't know. That's a good question too. My brain disconnected too.
like wrestling was like super like that's cool to me. Like smoking was cool, wrestling was cool. But like it was never like that's what I want to
Okay.
be. I don't think it was until I was how old was I? Oh my God. I think I was 20. Or no, I
Just
was
say the
probably
year.
19.
Okay.
I was 19.
Okay. Okay.
I was 19 when I was like, ah, being a wrestler would be pretty cool. And then when I was like, okay, I will be a wrestler, that's when I signed up. I literally was like, there was no like,
I see.
maybe, like, can I afford it? Like, no, I'm signing up. I'm being a wrestler.
Just all in. Like you're like whatever. Just like we'll just. I'll just like bet your bet your own marbles to like
Yeah,
go as
yeah.
far as you can in your career.
I was never an athletic kid either. Like, I was such a nerd. Like, even like through high school, like I played basketball in elementary like for a year. And like, I was never an athletic kid. So like the fact that I'm doing this now is like I am doing the things that I do, I'm just like, I'm crazy. I'm crazy.
Something unlocked in you for sure. Something unlocked for
For
you
sure.
at
For
that
sure.
point.
I love it though. I love it.
Oh man. If you were to talk to that younger you, what would that be?
I tell them don't be scared of anything. Like life sucks. I'm this is gonna sound depressing as hell, but like life sucks,
No,
life
no, no.
hurts.
That's fun. It's just realistically, because like
Yeah,
oftentimes like it is such. It's just being real and like
yeah,
and it's just yeah
yeah. I'd be so real to him. I'm like, you can't be scared of anything because if you're scared of stuff, then you're gonna hold yourself back. If you hold yourself back, you're not gonna be able to
yeah.
do anything. So always shoot for new experiences, and if it hurts, learn what made it hurt and don't do it again. Because that's what I go by every day.
Because if you keep hurting, something is definitely wrong if
Exactly.
that
And it's like, well,
happens.
I'm just not gonna do it that way. So I'm a quick learner. So I'm like, I didn't realize that
Like,
until after high school.
there you
Like
go.
I
Yeah.
learned pretty quick. So
So for those who are watching or listening here on YouTube, thank you, Jay. We finally had a conversation after months of like dead air, but here we are. And it's nice to have a conversation with you. And if you've watched this conversation long enough, there are so many other interviews here besides Jay. There are many people from the indies all the way to WWE superstars here over time. But if you had listened or watched long enough, subscribe. You know the trick. Subscribe, like, comment, share this episode to everyone, and tell, in this case, with Jay's story. So we'll end our conversation here, and we'll be on to the next one.